What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gaming Without Parole. My name's Brian Paul, and sitting to my left, your right,
this is gonna fuck me up all day.
Yeah, because we're not even sitting across from each other. So it's the ever illustrious Mike Zeller.
Yep.
Hey,
fresh from raking my lawn and still really sweaty.
Yeah, just get rid of the house. Sell it. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some homeless guy out there that could really use it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure. And then we just swap places. It would be like one of those Disney movies.
Oh,
and
sure.
then we'd each learn something about the other one.
Do you have to piss in a fountain first, or how is this going to work?
What movie is that from? I've had like 3 people reference that.
3 people have watched that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, but it's bad. Yeah, it's probably the most recent Trading Places kind of movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't believe I watched it. I hate comedies.
I kind of can. I mean, you are basically a 14-year-old girl, so anything on the Disney Channel seems right up your alley.
It wasn't a Disney Channel thing. It was like one of those like.
It was a Nickelodeon thing.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I got the Disney Afternoon confused with.
And behind the extra camera is Joby Nogueras.
What? Oh,
yeah,
right.
Yes, he is here. Would you like to say hi, Joby?
Hi.
Perfect.
You could have just said no.
Yeah.
Okay. I tried.
All right. Excellent. So welcome to Gaming Without Parole. Mike, what do we do here on Gaming Without Parole?
We try to convince ourselves that we are not just wasting our time.
We are, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But totally.
I'm wasting my time until Fallout 4 comes out in just a couple of days. 2 days, to be exact.
That should be like then our next like 4 or 5 episodes are just all like you playing Fallout 4 with like messages from me like texting you like, oh, we're gonna do the podcast today, and just no response.
Right.
Podcast? Question mark.
Right. Or you guys just can come in here and do the podcast, and you'll hear noises from me in the other room playing Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever works. And that sounds like that would work. Because
I think so.
Okay. Excellent. Mike, what have you been playing this week?
Man, I have had the hardest time just finding a game that I can really sink my teeth into. I know I said last week that I'd been basically playing retro-inspired games with Tiny Knights, and that's pretty much still what I've been doing.
Joby was very interested to hear that you play Castle Crashers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do.
Castle Crashers is a shit. I remember playing that back when I was in like middle school.
It's great, which was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, fuck you.
But yeah, it's a great game. I enjoy it. It's one of my. We talked about comfort games. You know, when I don't have anything else to do, it takes a couple hours to go through Castle Crashers.
Sure.
But yeah, I got to find something else. Something that. There's a couple of games that I've had on the docket, but I don't feel like I'm really in the mood to play them, and I don't want to ruin them by trying to play them when I'm not in the mood.
Okay. Well, what's on that docket?
So I bought Bayonetta 2 fairly recently, and I really liked the first one. I've wanted to play it, but I don't feel like I'm in the mood to play that style of game right now, and I worry if I try to force myself, I'll just kind of spoil it, rather than waiting till I'm in the mood to play 3D style brawler.
Maybe if you start to play it, it'll get you in the mood.
It could.
Yeah.
It could. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So I beat Dying Light. God, I fucking hate that game.
It's the cycle, man.
It's a typical Brian Paul syndrome.
Every time I think it's not going to happen, it's like, whoa, twist, it does.
Yeah. So I really enjoy the game when it's not making me do things. Right? I like running around. I like...
You like when you can just kind of put the controller down and just look at the screen?
That would be better. I like running around. I like, I like using like the grappling hook and like flying around the city and doing all this crazy, cool traversal stuff. And it's good. And I mean, and it's really hard to start off. And so you feel like a real badass like once you start powering up. But then I was just like, well, you know what? It's like Fallout 4 is coming. I need to kind of put this game to rest. I need to kind of push forward and just ignore some side story and actually finish the game.
Yeah. And
when I did that, I realized how much I hate it. The last hour of the game is just absolute garbage.
Really?
Oh, it's you. They force you to climb a building by like the scaffoldings and these little planks and stuff, and it's just tedious. tedious, and it really brings out the worst of the game mechanics. You're like, I totally had that ledge. Why didn't I climb? Instead, I fell to my death. I'm like walking on this plank, and it's like, oh, I totally was, like something. I ran into an object, and it nudged me.
just like that.
Off of the building. Off the building. To fall to my death. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, this. Did anyone play the last hour of this game before they shipped it? And then the final boss battle, spoilers, is quick time events.
Oh, nice.
It's fucking stupid. So they built up this whole pretty good fighting mechanic with weapons and even guns, all sorts of good stuff, and then they just ignore it for the big final boss battle.
So that makes it more cinematic.
The story was just kind of garbage. I really, the game ruined that game for me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Now I'm having a similar problem as you. Like, nothing is really resonating with me now that I've beaten that game, because I want to sink my teeth into something, but knowing full well that Fallout's coming in like 48 hours, I just don't even want to waste my time.
Yeah.
So the next couple days might be very video game light for me, and I think this podcast is actually going to go up the day. Either the day before or the day of Fallout 4. So this will be
so it's be very roughly edited.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how much work I actually put into this.
Now, somebody's having some issues outside.
I knew I should have closed the window before we started this thing. But it's a beautiful day out there.
Yeah, it's
in
not
lovely
bad.
Worcester, Massachusetts. Joby, what have you been playing? Putting you on the spot.
I've been playing Onigiri and Dungeon Defenders too.
What would you mind telling the people at home about Onigiri?
Okay, so Onigiri is an anime-based MMORPG where you can create your own character, customize, of course, and
thank you.
There we go. There we go.
And you basically, basic MMO functions. You run around, hack and slash. You can go through dungeons, raid. There is a pet system, I want to say, although I haven't gotten that far. As far as gameplay goes, you can level up fairly easily. I mean, I played it for one day. I'm already level 27, so it's a good game to just jump into. But as far as that goes, I mean, Dungeon Defenders 2 is pretty good. I've only gotten 2 hours into that. Yeah. That's about it.
You're also excited for Fallout.
Yeah, I can't fucking wait for Fallout.
You can tell just by the tone of his voice that Fallout trumps all this other crap.
This is just to get me till then.
Yeah.
Check out Kitten Squad.
Oh yeah, that's right. We talked about Kitten Squad on one of our "What the fuck is all this shit on the PlayStation Store" episodes, which I like to do. I want to do one of those once a month, just to kind of highlight games that no one talks about.
All right.
It was edit heavy, but it was worth it. It was one of my favorite little segments that we've done. All right, so doing a little differently on the news here. I want to kind of go a little bit more in depth with each news story. We kind of were blasting through them. I was reading the headline and then being like, "Oh, I don't have any other facts about it." So now I want to kind of make sure that we all know what we're talking about here.
For a change,
yeah, we're not terribly good at that. Now, the great thing about this laptop that I pulled out of the closet was that I bought it probably 2 years ago, and it was garbage out of the box. I should have just returned it and been like, this thing does not run. I just want to use it for the internet. That's it. That's all I wanted it for. And it didn't. It's the one thing it's really bad at. Right? So
yeah, that's kind of a tough thing to be bad at nowadays.
Yeah, you'll see. It takes forever to load anything.
Awesome.
Which I don't understand. I thought out of the box. So when I was trying to make the thing run faster, I was like, well, it's this Asus thing. It's supposed to be really, user friendly, too user friendly. So I was like, I bet the OS is just dragging this thing down.
Yeah.
So I started going in and deleting this, deleting that, deleting this, deleting that, and I finally deleted something that it really needed.
Oops.
And I was like, that's fine. I'll just reinstall Windows. No CD drive.
Perfect.
Yeah, which I actually didn't know when I bought it, which just shows how much I wasn't researching this purchase.
Yeah.
So what happened was I just threw it into a closet and forgot about it for the last year and a half. And then every computer that I've gotten on has been like, hey, update to Windows 10 for free. And I'm like, oh, I've got an idea. Pulled it out of the closet. It was a lot of work, but I managed to update this thing to Windows 10, and now it works again, but still just as slow as it used to be.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, so starting off, let's see. So on PSU, this is not a site I frequent very often, so I should probably... It's the PlayStation Universe.
Psu.
What's
For those
that?
who know it well.
PSU?
Psu.
Psu.
Yeah.
Is a P silent. Sue.
Sue. Oh, okay.
Maybe. Sony admits that it's holding...
A website named Sue. Classic song.
Oh, Johnny Cash, you were ahead of your time.
Now you're dead. God, I miss him so much.
Yes, quite a bit. Sony admits it's holding back The Last Guardian PS4 footage on purpose.
Those fuckers.
So this is reported by Michael Harradence on November 3rd. The president of Sony Computer Entertainment Worldwide Studios has revealed that the format holder has been purposefully holding back footage on The Last Guardian as it's a story-heavy game. Already, I've got an issue with this. Because Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, they're only other two games that we're aware of, atmosphere-heavy. Not story heavy. Yeah,
it's kind of hard to... unless you tell what happens in, like, the last 10 minutes or so, it's kind of hard to spoil any of, at least, Shadow of the Colossus.
Moving on. So, speaking during... See, already it's doing weird things. Speaking during a chat with GameSpot, Shuhei Yoshida assured fans that development is progressing smoothly. Well, it's only been 8 years. Although it's being cautious on revealing too much of the game as to not spoil anything for fans of Team Ico's ambitious project. Quote, development is going well, but because it's about the story, we don't want to show too much, Yoshida-san said. We want to show that it exists, it works, it runs. It's not like
Those are important factors.
It's not like we won't show anything before launch, but I think we should try to limit what we show about the game. I'm okay with that. The only thing I needed to know about this game was that it exists and it runs and that it's coming eventually. Other than that, I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, normally this type of thing wouldn't really bug me, but the fact that it's a game that has come and gone, like you said, for 8 years and was, for like probably half of that, considered vaporware.
Yeah.
And now it's come back and they had some like sort of not impressive footage and now they're like, oh, we don't want to show anything else because it's too good.
My guess is that it's really short. I'm going to say this is a 5-hour game maximum.
Yeah.
So if they show like 20 minutes during some big reveal, that's a good percentage of the game.
You gotta wonder if people ever really weigh out, like, well, I spent, 8 years, the better part of a decade of my life, creating something that most people will get through in, like, 5 hours.
Right.
That, I don't know. There's some diminishing returns there, perhaps.
I'm okay with it.
Because it's not your 8 years.
Again, more computer problems. This is not going well.
We got this. Don't worry.
Yeah, we can come back to this one. Let's just try something else. Okay, either IGN is down or my whole computer just shit the bed.
Perfect.
Let's try... Uh-oh.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, let me make sure that I'm still on Wi-Fi.
Looks like you were.
Connected. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can't introduce anything new without things breaking.
So, how are you doing?
Oh, don't talk to me. It's okay, we just get to edit all this out. So much fun.
Perfect.
Yeah. Nothing's getting edited out. You get to watch us sit here in pain.
And fumble around.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This thing is garbage.
That's so weird.
Right, let's just try one more time to make sure Let's disconnect and reconnect.
That's perfect right there.
Yeah, broken heart.
Yeah.
And the web just isn't the same without you. Wait. It says I'm connected. It's actually loading the page.
Oh, hey!
And we're back! But that's not the one I want to talk about. So let's see if the other ones work.
That one sounds interesting.
We'll talk about it. All right. Right, crashes
It's
again.
important to preserve the flow.
See, it's taking quite a bit to load just the page here, but at least it's loading the page. Yeah, are you familiar with this web browser? It's Microsoft's new Explorer. It's just called Edge.
Yeah, Edge. Yeah.
God, maybe this is part of the problem. Maybe I should just load up Mozilla or Firefox, whatever the fuck it's called.
That's what we're going towards at work, so I can't wait if this is the performance that it
You
gets.
going to Edge?
Yeah.
I think we can blame my computer for most of this. All right. This is really taking some time here.
You want me to introduce the story? I can read the headline. What the...
There we go. All right. So, we had previously talked about how Metal Gear Solid 5 basically pushed Konami into... their video game division is their highest grossing department. So, the question at that point was are they going to make more Metal Gear games? Are they going to make more video games? Because it seemed like at that point they were sort of getting out of the business.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to Alex Osborne at IGN, Konami is planning for a next large-scale Metal Gear Solid game.
And they demonstrated their investment to the franchise by closing Konami LA.
Yep, they did indeed do that.
Their final screw you to Hideo Kojima and his Hollywood ambitions.
I guess so. So the story is reported as follows. Following the success of Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, which has already shipped 5 million copies, Konami is reportedly gearing up for the next entry in its beloved stealth action series. According to Nikkei, the publisher is currently planning what's next for Metal Gear Solid, confirming the next entry in the series won't be a small project. When we start, quote, when we start development, a large-scale investment will become necessary, Konami said.
They gotta get all their money together so they can pay Platinum to finish the last 3/4 of it for them, because that seems to be what every other Japanese studio is doing nowadays.
Oh, Platinum. Can't wait for Nier. So, a lot of games get review embargoes. For anyone who doesn't know what a review embargo is, basically companies who give out their game to reviewers and game journalism, media sources, whatever, they give the game early, so they actually get to say, you can't publish a review or talk about this game until this day. Now, sometimes that can be bad news. If a game is bad, then often the embargo is the same day as release, so that people who have pre-ordered the game...
so they can at least get the dumbasses to buy it.
Exactly. That's really really true. So Fallout 4 has an embargo, as most games do.
Yeah.
But the embargo had an embargo. Yep.
We're through the looking glass here, people.
Yeah, if smoke some pot and then get back to us. We'll wait.
You got to put in some elevator music here.
Oh, you're back. All right, thanks, Joe. Now
he's back and high as a kite.
Right.
And we get to see some very artistic camera footage this episode.
We may have started that way. Just saying. Oh, there we go.
There's just like throbbing techno music and.
So, there's a reason you haven't heard anything about Fallout 4 from anybody but Bethesda. And the reason is because the embargo literally has an embargo. Sites were not even allowed to say when the review was coming. Now, the embargo on the embargo lifted Friday. So, on Friday, then sites were able to kind of come out and say, the embargo will lift Monday.
Great.
Right?
So now we've hit that point. We were before at the point where we could announce an announcement, and now we're announcing the announcement of the announcement.
So
great.
So Jason Schreier from Kotaku says Fallout 4, like most major video games, has review embargo. Unlike most major video games, though, Fallout 4 has an embargo for its review embargo. This is the first time we've seen an embargo on review embargo. They were able to get the email from Bethesda, so this will probably be up on the screen. We hope you're having fun exploring the wasteland in Fallout 4. We know your followers are eager to hear more about the game. If you'd like to reveal when your review or launch coverage will run, you can share beginning this Friday, November 6th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. Please keep in mind that the embargo below is still in place. All review coverage is under embargo until Monday, November 9th at 8 a.m. That's funny. I'm not sure if anyone else pointed this out. The embargo on the embargo has a Pacific Standard Time, and the embargo itself has Eastern Standard Time. So this must be coming from two different places.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also like it's stretching it the most, right? Because Eastern Standard Time comes first, so
that's true.
You're giving your
what's the point of this? It's an oddball thing to request.
I'm curious. I wonder, because I would imagine these embargo contracts all look kind of the same. Like when we buy certain things at work, there's these format contracts that I get, and I always read them, and they always say the same damn thing. But I wonder if it's with embargoes, it's the same thing, and people are just used to signing it. I wonder what happened when the first person read the contract and was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it took me a while to even understand what this was all about, because I was like, "What's the point of it?" Like, I thought I got it, and I just didn't.
I'm sure it's just more of companies wanting control over the flow of information. I mean, it's been a steady progression of that. It's not just the video game industry. I mean, it's everything. Large companies like to have control over their media, distribution. They like to control their image. So I think that's just more of that stuff.
Still, it still doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know why. Well, no, I do know why. I was going to say I don't know why more game journalists don't just push back against this shit.
We definitely know why.
Yeah, it's because
then they won't get a review copy,
exactly.
And then they'll be the last one to post a review, and then their views will go down.
Yeah, which is really not so great for the industry.
No, but I mean, it's fair, right? Like, a company's going to, if a company's going to give you the game early, then they should have control over when their review posts. Not any kind of content control, but over when it posts. It's all part of the marketing scheme, right? It's all part of the hype machine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking more from the perspective, you want to make sure your reviewers have enough time to get through the entirety of the game, because if there wasn't an embargo, I'm sure you would see reviews almost instantaneously from when the copies went out, because you'd get some jackass that's just like, I gotta be first,
Right.
Where if there's some kind of embargo, I guess that gives them more time to get into the meat of the game. But I mean, it's still kind of creepy to have the companies that you're reviewing controlling to any degree how that review. It's weird to have companies controlling journalism,
Yeah, I mean,
it has a bad precedent.
It's bothersome when it's a bad game.
Yeah.
It's bothersome when they're just trying to, like you said, get the suckers who pre-ordered to pay for a crappy game.
Yeah.
That's bothersome.
Yeah.
But this is also a little bit strange as well, because a lot of times a review embargo lifts days before or a week before a game launches. I think if you go too far out, if you go like over a week ahead of time, then people have short attention spans.
They do.
And they could see a review for a game and you'd be like, oh, it's not out yet. And then you forget about it by the time it comes out. I know I kind of have a tendency to forget about things quickly. And so if a review comes out maybe 2 days ahead of time, I'm like, sweet. It's 48 hours. I'm either going to pre-order, I'm going to run to the store, whatever it is. And I can stay excited for 2 days. But
it's good that game companies are really leaning into the child with ADD syndrome that.
But I mean, I can't stay excited for more than 2 days or for a week. So it's still strange that this thing is happening literally less than 24 hours before the game comes out. It's Fallout 4. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, and it
better be good.
Those are big games too. Yeah. That's. Well, I guess no. I was thinking I guess the embargo doesn't preclude them playing it, so they've probably been done with the game for a while.
Oh, I'm sure.
Is that Brett?
No, it's my brother.
Your brother Brett.
My brother's birthday was last week.
Yeah,
and he sent me a text. He's like, hey, tomorrow's my birthday. I know. done this a few times. Although, as
we discussed,
right.
You did kind of forget.
I did kind of forget. But he was like, can do you want to meet up at this Chinese restaurant with Mom and Dad for a little birthday celebration? I was like, yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where we've talked about this last week, right? And so the next day I go to the restaurant, and my parents beat me there by a few minutes, and so I'm sitting in the parking lot, and I walk over to their car, and I'm talking to them, and they're like, do you want to get in the car? I was like, no, I'm just going to hang out here. It's a nice day. And so I'm talking to them, standing at the window, and we're just talking, chit-chatting, letting time go by. Next thing we know, it's been like a while, and he's not there. You're like, okay, should someone call him or text him? I'm like, it's his birthday. Leave him alone. Like, if he wants to be late on his birthday, he can be late on his birthday. Until like 5 minutes later, my dad goes, I'm just going to call him. And it's a good thing, because he was like, hello? Why am I not where? Oh no, I'm at home. I forgot. So we're all sitting around, and my dad goes, well, let's go have lunch. Greg's birthday celebration lunch.
Without him.
Without Greg.
Nice. Well, I guess, he can't be mad at you for forgetting if he's going to forget his own birthday. That's pretty bad. That's like senile, old bachelor kind of thing.
That's a married with kids, hasn't gotten a good night of sleep in 8 years kind of thing. So
what's wrong with his children?
We can talk about that off. I love my niece and nephew.
Me too. What?
But kids are fucking crazy. Just another sign that I'm doing all the right things in this life.
Exactly.
Alex Osborne, thank you again for providing us with another news article. Sony adds over 100 news titles to PlayStation Now. Did I say 100 news titles?
Yes.
100
did.
New titles to
Which
PlayStation Now.
Newsworthy.
Newsworthy. So. Well, it is and it's not. According to the PlayStation blog announcement, I guess we could have gone straight there, a whopping 105 games
read them all off.
Being added today, bringing the total number of titles available to 250. Of the new additions, 21 Capcom-published games are joining the service, including titles from the Resident Evil, Street Fighter, and Mega Man franchises. Several new indie titles are being added as well, including Oddworld, Stranger's Wrath HD, Danger 2 the movie. Role-playing game fans will be pleased to know that several JRPGs are joining the lineup as well, including Ragnarok, Odyssey, Ace, and a trio of titles from the Atelier series.
Awesome.
Always good.
You're going to show footage of all of these.
No. It's less important that they just put up 100 new games, and more important to ask this. You and I play probably more old games than new games. This is an interesting service they have going. Streaming video games as a Netflix-like subscription-based service. Oddly, as a retro gamer, this has no appeal to me whatsoever.
They had something like that. Gamefly.
It's a game rental service.
Oh.
Yeah. So Gamefly will send you a game in the mail, and you play it, and then you send it back, and they send you another game in the mail, you play it, and send it back.
It's like very slow streaming.
This is Netflix-like. You're presented with 250 titles. You can just click one, and within a few seconds, you're playing the game. Technology, for me, I haven't tried it in probably a year, so maybe someone can fill us in. Maybe it's gotten better, but it's pretty limited. Like in terms of response, you have to be playing a game that is not heavy on the action. You're not going to play a Call of Duty game on PlayStation Now.
Wow, and who likes those? I mean,
right. The subscription is like $20 a month.
Wow.
If it was like 8 or 9, like Netflix and Hulu, I could consider it. But this just does not seem worth it to me.
Yeah, that, and I mean, in concept, it's not bad, especially as certain older games get hard to find. And we've both talked about how shitty the retro collecting scene is. It's a not horrible way to get at those kinds of things. But as you and I have both discussed, when we want to play old games, 9 times out of 10 we want to play them on the original hardware,
sure,
with original copies of the games. So, what have they posted any numbers for what they're getting for subscribers on
Absolutely
that kind of?
Not. Because when they bought,
it's a good sign.
When they bought what was the name of the company? Genkai?
Oh yeah, something
like that. They bought that for billions, right?
Yeah.
And there's no way that they've made their money back.
No.
So, speaking of companies not revealing sales figures, now, I wish we lived in a more transparent world where these numbers were just available to consumers.
Yeah.
But we don't. So the funny thing is that Sony, who of course is the obvious leader. Okay, I actually have a correction to make before we continue this. I was under a false impression that the Wii was the best-selling console of all time.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And it's not. PS2 far outnumbered that by like an extra 30 million units. So I want to say the number's like around 100 million for Wii and about 127 million for PS2.
Wow.
If I'm right, but at least I know that I was wrong about the Wii. I mean, still, those are still the top two.
Yeah.
But now, so it's even more impressive when Sony says, "Hey, we sold 30 million PS4s, and it's outpacing the PS2." That means the PS4 is on track to be the best-selling console of all time. It doesn't seem like it's slowing down. So the deal is that Sony is very upfront about their numbers because their numbers are great. They're still not upfront about the Vita because they're always combining it with like PS3 sales and stuff to say grand total.
Yeah,
like, we know that none of that is Vita. So when a company's in the lead, they're obviously gonna boast about it. Xbox has been very open about saying we're not going to reveal any more sales figures because I mean it's just bad news.
Because magicians don't reveal their secrets.
It's
bad form.
The great thing is that in roundabout ways we can sort of get an idea of how well the Xbox is selling.
Yeah, by the fact that they're not giving out numbers. So
no, even better than that. DualShockers.com reports that the PlayStation 4 dominates Ubisoft's software sales. PC and Xbox One follow. And they posted the financial results. So going down to the sales chart. All right. Here we go. We just got to get rid of this pop-up ad. Oh, hey.
It's a sweet car.
It sneaks out of the way. Stop moving. There we go. I really hate this computer. All right. Stop that. All right, you know what? There, all better. Now.
Fuck.
Right, I wish I could stream this so you guys could see how awful this thing is running. Okay, so they have a breakdown of Ubisoft game sales by platform. Of course, the PlayStation 4 is in the lead. And I think this is the last 6 months, it's been 27% of all of their game sales have been on PlayStation 4.
Nice.
The Xbox One is a not very close second at 12%, which means if the PlayStation 4 has sold 30 million units, less than 50% of Ubisoft game sales, I mean, that is, we're going to be looking at what, like 14 million roughly Xbox Ones, if there's a correlation there, which I'm sure there's got to be. I mean, Ubisoft, they don't just make one game.
Yeah.
It's not just Assassin's Creed. It's
Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And
right.
Assassin's
Liberation.
Creed Brotherhood.
Right. But they, they make that. They make Watch Dogs. They make The Crew, which was a racing game. They do dive into different categories, and even like Child of Light, they do have like these weird sort of independent games here and there. So I would say only second to say Electronic Arts and maybe Activision. So third, Ubisoft is definitely a standard
Is
that we can.
ubiquitous.
Well. Exactly. That's what it stands for, right? Ubiquitous soft?
Yeah.
If that's my brother again, I'm going to be like, you didn't even show up for your own birthday.
It's my birthday today.
I just woke up.
Where am I?
Okay.
Have you seen my kids?
He's asking about Thanksgiving. I'm like, I think we have some time on that one.
A little bit, yeah.
So I think this is actually, this might actually be a pretty good standard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To judge things by, which explains why Microsoft is not revealing sales figures, because you don't want to say we're trailing by over 50% of our competition. Which also might explain why their holiday bundles are so amazing.
Yeah.
They're coming out, I think, this Tuesday, is an Xbox One with a 1 terabyte hard drive and Fallout 4 $300.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I thought about telling you and being
Yeah.
like, maybe you should just skip the PS4 because this is the best deal going. That is like a $200, not even a $200 Xbox One basically.
Yeah.
Because that is the best deal going. And it's too bad that PlayStation does not have a Fallout 4 bundle.
Yeah, I would go for that.
Yeah, I think most people would, and I think that might. I mean, I think we might see some numbers from that saying that they. I think they could possibly outsell PS4 the month of November because of that bundle alone.
Yeah.
So, although PS4 has this weird Call of Duty Black Ops 3 bundle, that might even things out a bit. Yeah. Do you want to talk about Amazon opening its first physical store?
Do I not?
It's a bookstore, so it's not even like a full Amazon store.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how big a full Amazon store would be?
It would be like its own
Walmart.
state.
It would. Walmart doesn't even come close.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It would be like its own state.
It would be. And it would be amazing.
They'd have like a governor.
Do you guys want to go to Amazon today?
There's people living in the store.
I meant to text you about this, and it will load eventually.
Okay. I can't wait.
Do you know about the game Indivisible?
I don't not know about it.
So you do know about it.
I think a little bit. Is that the like the robbing one? They're breaking buildings and getting the mushrooms, getting big and saving Zelda, catching them all. Batman.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm Batman. I'm Spider-Man. Yep. I really hate this computer. Here we go. I'll show you the. Well, I'll watch.
Oh yes, this is not at all what I was thinking of, but I have seen this game. It's the it's that Kickstarter like East Asian action RPG. That was not at all what I was thinking of, but
yeah, so I'll watch the trailer. Oh no, we don't want to watch
that.
Albir Sixsmith. we don't want to watch him. This is fucking ridiculous. Although this is loading faster. It just switched me into some other mode, and now it's faster, and I don't know why.
It switched out of shit mode.
Right? Oh no!
He's back.
It's Albir Sixsmith again.
He's invaded all of the videos. Did he make this game?
No, I mean maybe. I have no idea. All right, we're just gonna watch a beta stream.
Okay.
It's probably gonna be Albir
He's in it. You just clicked on him again.
No, I didn't. He was the blue one. This is the red one. There we go.
Okay.
No, although I gotta be honest, I'm missing Albir Sixsmith.
I know.
He
made this game.
He really
Can
did.
we buy a copy where he's like in the lower left hand corner all the time?
All right, so we're gonna watch this for a minute.
Okay.
Everyone can
microphone screen out of the way.
Everyone can watch with us. I'll actually turn the sound on.
Perfect. That'd be good. Yeah, I had seen when I was going through Kickstarter stuff recently.
I didn't turn the sound on so you could talk over it.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay, that's good. I don't know. When I was looking at some Kickstarter stuff, this came up, and it looked pretty good. I mean, they didn't have a lot of footage, though. You know, it definitely felt very demo-y.
Well, it is. I mean, this might not even be the beginning of the actual game. This is just, and I think more people should do this. They said, hey, we want to make this game. Here's an idea of what we want it to be like, and now give us some money so we can make the real game.
Yeah.
And with any luck, this game will start soon. I'm just like, here we go. It's coming up.
Okay.
So this is great because it was on this prototype was on PC, and I was like, oh man, that looks like a game I'd want to play. And next thing I know, it popped up on the PlayStation Store, obviously for free because it's just a prototype.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and it's a great idea because it combines things from different. I mean, anytime now this thing can start. Yep, here we go.
There we go. Are they doing a lot of times for Kickstarters? They'll do a physical copy if you.
Wait!
if you buy in early enough.
Yeah, I have no idea. I actually didn't look at the Kickstarter page, so I'd be thrilled to check it out. So you definitely you gain other characters. You gain I think up to 4 character party members at the same time, and then everything is a combination of real time and kind of like active time battle.
Yeah.
Are they still using that term?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It actually looks a lot like Valkyrie Profile from the shots that I've seen of the battle. It's very similar.
Yeah. It also has this great, like, I mean, overused term, of course, but Metroidvania style of exploration, where you find an axe, and the axe will help you, like, you know, get through walls and like chop down vines, like places you couldn't get to before. And of course, the animation is like this is like Vanillaware for like HD consoles.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see some Vanillaware stuff soon, but this is good in the meantime. So, and I think after this battle, she gets her first teammate, and we'll just wait for that to start, and then we can ditch out of this.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's this almost looks gameplay wise identical to Valkyrie Profile, and the shots, or the streams that I saw had a lot of the same like combo mechanics and juggling to get attack bonuses and that kind of stuff. So
maybe I'll actually play that game.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly strike me as as a Brian kind of game, but it's a good one. So
you'd be surprised.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, she can attack twice in a row. Let's fast forward to the end, and maybe we'll see a bunch of the characters.
Nope.
What? You know what? This might have been even the prototype. Oh, there we go. Although I do think that this was even an earlier version of the prototype. So I think I got my first character like very early on, like 5.
Yeah.
Like not even a second battle or something. All right. So the reason I bring this up, not only because I think it looks amazing, and I'm actually really glad that. So we can get rid of this video. I think it's also great that, you know, prototypes like this exist. You know, that we can try out games that haven't even been made yet. I mean, similar to the PT Silent Hills trailer.
Oh
yeah. But also because like this didn't seem like something that would be on PlayStation 4. Like this didn't seem like something that we'd get to try out. You know, I think the PlayStation Store is still of the impression that it needs to be a finished game, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Xbox One is sort of starting this early access program. You know, I hope that Sony follows suit, and because it'd be great to see more of, you know, game ideas.
Yeah.
You know, as long as we're not getting charged for it. You know. So Polygon reports, Michael McWhorter from Polygon reports that Lab Zero's Indivisible, which we just watched, is to feature characters from Shovel Knight, Guacamelee, and more.
Huh.
The new title from Skullgirls developer Lab Zero Games role-playing game Indivisible. So I'll stop right there. Role-playing game? I mean, it's like a turn-based action game. You know, it's like calling Kingdom Hearts an RPG.
Well, I mean...
Do you think Kingdom Hearts is an RPG?
Yeah, I would say so. It's an action RPG. I mean, it's you're still gaining levels. There's still an element of turns to it. Like in Kingdom Hearts, you can't just spam all of your...
Yeah, I guess. It's just, you know... that's absolutely true. I mean, I guess action RPG fits it, but I think games like Parasite Eve is more of like... That's a true, like, action, battle, RPG, survival, horror, action... RPG pre-rendered backgrounds. I fucking hate game genres. They're all broken.
Yeah, I mean, it's nowadays we've started to blur them a lot more. So in a way, it seems an irrelevant classification. You know.
Yeah, I just feel like everything's an RPG now. Like sports games are RPGs because of like leveling systems. And,
yeah, they've certainly incorporated a lot more stat progression and equipment systems and things.
So continuing the quote, it'll include a handful of guest characters from other indie games, including skateboarding dinosaur Zachosaurus from Super Time Force.
Okay.
How far into Super Time Force are you, Joby?
Not very.
Yeah. Not far enough, apparently.
I'm so far not into it that I have not found Zachosaurus yet. That game can be hard.
Yeah, especially if you don't have someone else to play with. It's just like...
Is it 2-player?
Only. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of a whole different other game.
You're not thinking about Mercenary Kings, are you?
No.
Because Mercenary Kings is definitely better with 2 players. Has similar art style.
No, I'm thinking of a game I was playing on the laptop.
He's thinking of hopscotch.
Good talk. Also, Juan from Guacamelee. Have you played Guacamelee?
I have.
So good.
It's pretty good, yeah.
So good. And then Shovel Knight from, Shovel Knight. Lab Zero told Polygon that Indivisible will feature a large and diverse cast of characters with more than 25 playable incarnations. Those characters will join protagonist Ajna as playable party members and will follow blah blah blah. Did we miss anybody here? The Drifter from Hyper Light Drifter will be on there. Leia from Curses and Chaos. Calibretto from Battle Chasers, and Annie from Skullgirls. I actually don't know half of these games.
Yeah.
Skullgirls is a fighting game.
And a 2D fighting game. Nice art style, but 2D fighting game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joby's good at fighters. I'm not. Yeah, I might. Let's see. Doesn't have any kind of release window or anything yet.
Has the Kickstarter even ended yet?
Yeah, we can go right.
Did it get approval?
See, this is what we get to do with a laptop.
Ooh.
So, Lab Zero is seeking $1.5 million in crowdfunding, which is not a lot to ask for a game, especially a nice-looking game like this. So it's bringing us to Indiegogo. They have raised $742,194, raised by 11,000 people.
They're like halfway there.
In 1 month. Oh, except they only have 7 days left. That's not promising.
No, that isn't.
Here, let's take a look at the
screen. It drags.
Do you have a nice laptop?
It's okay.
Do you have one that works?
Yeah, it works better than this.
Could I maybe borrow it for the podcast? Let's see. Take your time. We're not doing anything. This is ludicrous.
At this point, you asked for it.
Okay, the computer's like, you making fun of me? Are you? You're making fun of me?
It crashes.
Yeah. I'd say at least it's working, but I'm not even sure if that's true. We'll give it a second.
But yeah,
the podcast is going to go for 3 hours. We're going to chop it down to like 45 minutes.
I haven't even had lunch yet.
I'm starving.
Yeah.
Really?
We should have lunch during the podcast.
Well, we might have time while this thing loads. It's also an Xbox One game. Surprising we didn't see an Xbox One prototype yet. All right, let's see. $5 will get you a set of beautiful wallpapers to decorate your desktop with.
Great.
$15 will
we
get
could never get enough pictures on the internet.
the soundtrack. $30 will get you a digital game in different character colors. I don't know. $60 will get you physical game. There you go.
Yep.
Your name in the credits. Get a physical copy of the game on the platform of your choice and your name in the credits. $75. Digital game, digital OST, digital art compendium, and name and credits. This is boring. I might throw $60 at him to get a physical copy of this.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
They have a reasonably decent reputation.
Yeah. Oh, there's some sold out ones here. All right. Well, that's fun. All right. Well, I should start loading the next news story.
Yeah, so you can get there someday.
Yeah. This is ludicrous. Probably get rid of this window now. I don't know if 2 windows is too much for this thing.
Too much. Yep. Crazy. 2 internet windows at the same time. This isn't big. It's a Deep Blue, that chess playing computer.
Oh yeah. So about Deep Blue, talk about that while this thing loads.
He's so good at chess.
So Michael McWhorter from Polygon, and there goes my title. Stop this. All right, Michael McWhorter from Polygon reports that Activision buys Candy Crush maker King for $5.9 billion. This is out of fucking control.
Yeah.
What did Mojang get sold for? The Minecraft.
Wasn't it like $10 billion? Something?
Was it even that?
I thought so.
But I mean, like that's like the biggest game of all time. Like, this is ludicrous. So,
Why are we doing this fucking podcast? We should be making like shitty games where you just tap on stuff and then selling them for tens of billions of dollars. Then I could buy a PlayStation 4.
Oh, dude, all my tapping on this computer is really loud. We might have to figure out a new setup. Activision Blizzard announced today that it will acquire King Digital Entertainment, the company behind mobile hits Candy Crush Saga and Bubble Witch Saga, and a bunch of other garbage, for $5.9 billion. The acquisition of King will make Activision Blizzard one of the largest global entertainment networks with over 500 million combined monthly active users in 196 countries, according to a release.
Wow.
Blah, 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 blah. The acquisition of King will add 2 of the top 5 highest grossing mobile games in the U.S. To Activision Blizzard's portfolio. Last year, King had 3 of the top 10 grossing games on the iTunes and Google Play app stores, generating $2.1 billion in adjusted revenue.
Giggle better.
Giggly. What the fuck's going on here? This is out of control. $6 billion.
I don't know, man.
For Candy Crush Saga. Like,
people really like Candy Crush. People like touching things and not having to think. That's how we keep getting more people.
But this thing is like run its course. Candy Crush Saga has been around for like 2 years. Right? This isn't like a new thing.
The next one's going to be Flappy Bird for $18 billion. Which is great because Flappy Bird's already just like a bunch of stolen assets anyways.
Right.
Like,
see,
Nintendo's like, okay, wait a minute, guys.
Have you played Candy Crush Saga?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Enough to know that there's no skill involved.
It's the same as all those other like Bejeweled and Puzzle Quest
but to a certain degree, I found that it's not. And I could be wrong. Maybe you can correct me. It's all randomized. Like all of the jewels that fall, or all the candy that falls.
Yeah.
So that if there are certain objectives to reach in each level, sometimes the randomization of those pieces can make things extremely easy, and sometimes it can make them almost difficult. So there's no learning curve. There's no, I'm getting better at this game. It's, I'm just going to replay this level until an easy set of tiles drop.
Well, I mean, that is true, but even with stuff like Puzzle Quest or Bejeweled, the more you play, the more you kind of figure out ways to set yourself up for better combos.
I guess.
I mean, you're right. The randomization, it could just screw you in one level, but or you could win instantaneously without any effort. Right. But there is definitely some degree of skill in learning how to set up. I mean, it's the same as like Tetris or Dr. Mario. Like, you can play those competitively, and there's definitely a difference between somebody that knows how to set the pieces up in a way that works versus somebody that doesn't.
But competitively, I understand. Even if everything's randomized, it's like you're both dealing with the same set of randomization, and then it's just a competition of different skill levels. With this, it's you're playing by yourself, and you're just waiting for an easy set of tiles. I hate this game.
While you're waiting for the bus.
I hate this game. I really do. I downloaded it, I played it, I was like, I couldn't believe everyone was so fascinated with it. And I was like, because we've played why did this one take off and not... I mean, other ones have taken off, but why this one?
I mean, you know our co-host, people like candy.
We should probably mention Brett's not here.
The end!
Yeah.
So long, everybody.
Brett's not here.
Yeah. He's dead. He ate too much candy on Halloween and died. Sorry, Brett. We'll miss you. Semper Fi.
Brett will be back next week, and then we'll all have, except for Mike, of course, have Fallout stories to tell.
I can talk about the original Fallout. You can shoot little kids in that game.
I don't know. It feels like
that seems like it's up your alley.
It feels like just Baldur's Gate all over again. Right. Okay, what are we missing here?
No, Fallout's even better because there's one part in the game where you really can't make it through a level without all of your companions dying, and when they're dead, that's it. Because there's these laser gates, and the AI is so bad they just walk right through them, just slice themselves in half.
Okay. How was Fallout 1?
Other than that bullshit, really good, actually. Both of those games I enjoyed quite a bit. They had I mean, all the new Fallouts have had that same kind of dark sense of humor, but these ones it was even more so. If anything, they've toned it down a bit. They've tried to make it a little more cinematic and story focused, but it's a very similar tone. Obviously, the combat is turn based, so it plays more like a tactical RPG than an action game.
Okay. So it's still like you still got to position your character.
Yeah.
Do that stuff. I really hate that. I'm really bad at it.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, when they went real time with Fallout 3, and a lot of people were bitching like, "Oh, you're turning it into a first person shooter," and then when you use the VAT system, it's not really a first person shooter. It's still an RPG. So it's got that same feel, and you're still kind of the emphasis is on targeting parts of the body and crippling enemies. Positioning matters. But because it's turn-based, you have more time to think. Like, you're not just, like, shooting, and then, oh, shit, there's stuff coming. Like, you kind of have to plan, okay, I'm going to do this, take these shots, and then dodge behind this cover, and so forth.
What's your take on VATS? Do you like it?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it
People have accused it as being a cover-up for just the poor game mechanics.
Well, I mean, that's what they said about, like, Mass Effect 2. Like, this is a shitty shooter. I'm hitting him, but there's your brother again.
That's eBay.
Okay, you win something?
I probably am about to lose something.
Oh.
Yeah.
People said that about Mass Effect 2. They're like, oh, this is shitty. I'm shooting at this guy, and I'm hitting him, but the shots are missing because the behind-the-scenes rolls are not paying off. And it's like, well, it's a fucking RPG. Like, that's how this stuff works. If you want a straight action game, then go play Halo or Call of Duty or something. So
I love that. I think that's a great
I like it too.
Solution.
I mean, it. Although I definitely noticed as the game progressed, like once you get to a certain point, you kind of stop using it. I felt like.
Oh, I didn't.
Really?
But once I was leveled up enough, I'd just be picking people off from really far away.
Yeah.
Like why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that is true. I felt like as the game progressed, I definitely, except in really close combat scenarios, I definitely stopped using VATS in both of the Fallouts.
All right, so we're definitely we're about to start actually running over on time, which is strange because it didn't feel like it was a very long episode.
It's because we spent like half the time waiting for the computer buffering.
Exactly. Like I said, it's going to chop down to like a half an hour episode. So
it's going to be like, welcome to Gaming Without Pro.
Right, I should definitely download some elevator music to put while we're actually screw it. I'm not going to edit anything out. Elevator music. So I do want to ask you a question. I don't know if this is going to like get into like a topic of some kind. We have a topic ready, but I don't know. It seems like maybe that would take a while to do.
Yeah, I know. I want to give this one some time.
And this one just seems appropriate.
Okay.
There's so much hype surrounding Fallout 4, and it's obviously not coming from review sites because they're embargoed. It is, but it's just coming from, I think, just fans who like have played Fallout 3 at least, or New Vegas, and
or employees of Bethesda disguised as fans,
right,
and sneaking out to message boards.
Exactly. Like this game is just putting everyone's life on hold for a little bit. Now, I'm excited, and I allow myself to get excited easily for games. I mean,
yep.
I've got the Order 1886, really expensive collector's edition.
Joby, you should zoom in on the statue behind you.
Yeah.
There it is.
That was an expensive statue.
But you get to look at that sweet werewolf ass.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of it. Yeah. If I can get like $50 for it, I'll be thrilled. If anybody wants to buy the Order 1886...
That's what this should just turn into like a home shopping network where we just sell off all the shit that neither of us want. Call now. They can't. This is a pre-recorded show.
Right. So I'm, like I said, I do allow myself to get super hyped up for things. I think Brett's the same way. Joby's kind of the same way. And so if something like really appeals to us, it's like, fuck, we'll pre-order. We'll spend the extra few dollars on the collector's edition. But you come at it from a different approach.
Yeah.
You are a very cautious, wait and see kind of person, and also very seldom do I find you buying things on launch day. Yeah,
it's rare, and it's become increasingly rarer. I feel like I used to do it more often, but
So, like for something like Fallout 4, like can you explain like your perspective on the hype and how you like. I mean, for me, it's my most anticipated game, and it has been for a long time. How do you deal with like kind of pushing that off to the side and sort of while all these people are posting reviews and let's plays and spoiler filled podcast. Like
what Cars is going to become.
Right. What do you do in those situations? Like what and how do you temper your enthusiasm?
Well, I mean, I will say if I had a console that could play it, I would be buying Fallout 4 on launch day. I mean, that's
so you're switching to Xbox One.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I bought Smash Brothers the day it came out too. There are a handful of games that I know that I'm going to really enjoy. That I will just, buy right when they come out because I know that I just want to get right into them. But as far as tempering my expectation, I mean, every week we get to see your, game cave. I have a pretty similar looking one in my house, so it's not like this is not unusual for me. So it's not like there's not other stuff for me to do in the meantime.
Right.
I mean, part of it is I don't think I immerse myself as much in gaming culture as, say, you and Brett do. I mean, I have a few websites that I look at, but they're mostly ones that look at things more historically. Like the most interesting article that I read recently was about Battle for Olympus, a game that, or Battle of Olympus, a game that nobody's talked about in like 20 years, probably.
Great game that no one's talked about.
It's a great game.
Yeah. That's the one that feels very much like the Zelda 2,
It's
right?
like good Zelda 2.
Yeah. Right, which I don't think even Zelda 2 pulled off very well.
No. Yeah, this is what Zelda 2 should have been.
Gotcha.
So I don't really go for the hype stuff because I feel like, and this isn't just video games. I mean, I feel like the video game media leans into this really hard, but this is everything. I mean, our culture in general keeps telling us that like every new thing is the best and the greatest, and then when it sucks, they're like, oh, sorry, no, this time, really, they're all essentially Lucy with the football pulling it away from Charlie Brown. So for me, I mean, just in the name of being fiscally responsible, I wait till at least a little while till it sounds like things suck or not. Yeah. And video games in general drop in price so fast. I mean, unless it's something that I just am totally in love with, it just makes sense to wait for a little while and then save like 50% at least.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't really... The hype scene is never that attractive for me. I mean, I tend to take a real critical eye to that kind of stuff. I mean, occasionally things will strike that really get me psyched up. Like some of the Vanillaware stuff we talked about a few weeks ago with the idea of like a post-apocalyptic robot fighting, like, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
That's I've been a pretty big fan of Vanillaware, so that's something I can probably get behind. Even the idea of incorporating some other indie characters into that Indivisible that we were just talking about, like that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
If something is something I think is going to be really collectible, if it's something where there's a very limited edition of a physical copy and it sounds like something that I could probably like, I might take a jump on something like that sooner. But yeah, I mean, it's just the hype. It's so similar and it does the same shit all the time. I feel like, for me at least, it's hard to get excited because we've been here so many times before.
Yeah, for me, it's sort of the opposite, right? I mean,
you're like, this time I'm gonna kick that fucking football.
No, I mean, I'm kind of okay with like, I'm kind of okay with like the disillusionment of it all. I mean, I don't know if that even makes sense because it's.
Well, you're a couple years older than me, so are you officially Gen X? I feel like.
Oh, I'm officially Gen
X. That's Gen X is all about disillusionment.
Well. Like I'm generally disillusioned with real life in general. Like like
especially Jovi. Come on, man. I'm just kidding.
Jovi's looking extra emo today. He's got the black hat on. He's got like some black eye makeup on.
You're looking extra emo today.
Oh Thank man, he turned that around.
That's a compliment.
Burn.
Jovi, how did that rave go?
Oh my god, it went really well.
Give me the camera.
So, I went to a rave, and my mom actually ended up coming along, and all I really honestly have to say is, like, you know, I know once I'm in the scene, or, like, when I go out, I'm really loud and absolutely obnoxious, and, like, I see where I get it from. Like, I do, and I love it. Like, my mom brought her boyfriend, she's dating someone from Puerto Rico right now, who's from the island, doesn't live in the States yet, and she brought him to his first event. So, I go outside for a cigarette, and I come back inside, my mom's breaking it down on the dance floor with a beer in her hand, like, with her boyfriend, who is smoking. Like, I just...
In the building?
In the building.
It's a rave.
So
alright.
I was pretty proud, because I've never smoked in a building when I went out before. Because I'm just like, I don't want to risk getting kicked out. Like, I don't go out much, so shit. I mean, I don't want to, you know? So yeah, I was pretty proud of her. Like, go mom.
Joey, thank you so much for providing us with the introduction to our podcast last week. That was
no problem.
I was like, oh, he's going to be too fucked up to remember to do anything.
I almost was.
Yeah, I was just yeah, I got that, and I was like, well, this is pretty much perfect.
So yeah, disillusionment.
Yeah, I like life in general is like not terribly exciting.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
I'm sort of I'm not trying to turn this into like a pity party or like anything like that. It's just like I'm not the person I thought I'd be. You know, when I was like 17 years old, like I did not
the
think,
person I thought you'd be either.
And when I was like 16, 17 years old, I did not think, hey, in 20 years, this is what my life is going to be like. And I'm not disappointed. I'm very cozy. That's, I think, a good word, because I'm not comfortable, but I'm very cozy because I'm surrounded.
You have the illusion of comfort.
Yeah, I mean, I surround.
That's exactly how my mom feels about me.
Yeah. More.
No.
I just like I surround myself with shit that I love. You know, I've got like not all the video games I could ever want, because there's always more coming. But you know, I've got like a tiny little apartment that I own, and I've kind of got a stupid little job that I love. And I don't make a ton of money, but I make enough money. You know, and so there's like these like little shining spots in my life where it's, oh my god, Fallout 4.
Whoa!
You know? Like oh my god, new movie. Oh my god, it's Halloween. You know, and there are these little things that I've really gravitated towards and grabbed onto and just embraced and been like, these are the things I get excited for. And if I don't get excited for those things, then I'm not going to get excited for very much. And so. That's why I've like allowed myself, like the PlayStation 4 was the very first console I bought on launch day, because it was sort of like a reward to myself. That's kind of
surprising. But
well, I've always had the enthusiasm, always had the desire for one right away.
Not the waiting in line powers.
Or the money.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first time in my life that I've been like comfortable enough where I've been like, okay, I mean, it's still expensive for me, but it's doable, you know? It's also, as I know, like very irresponsible. Because those launch systems always have their bugs.
Yeah.
You know, my PS4 is loud as fuck sometimes, and I'm like, that's not right, but it still works, so we're all good for the minute.
That's how you know you're playing a game. It's train like thunderousness.
But it's so yes, I mean, so that's why, and we can go into like why we even do this podcast another time. But it's sort of all part of that, like, you know, latching on to the things that you love. And I'm like, I don't mind spending the extra $20 or $30 on a game, if that means that when I watch, you know, IGN or Kind of Funny or GameSack or like any of my other favorite YouTube channels, if I'm not kind of like left out in the dark, you know, like when they're talking about Fallout, I don't want to sit there with my ears covered.
Yeah.
Like, I can't listen to this right now because I don't want anything spoiled. Like, I want to play Fallout nonstop for the next week. You know, and then I want to be part of all of those discussions here, and you know, sitting on my couch watching people like us talk about games.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I mean, and I get it too. Like the times that I have gotten a game either right at launch or very shortly after it's come out, I've liked the feeling of kind of, oh, this is brand new. You know, this is undiscovered. Like, I haven't culturally osmosisized everything about this game already. You know, this is brand new,
Right.
And it can be kind of fun taking part in those discussions.
It's like the zeitgeist of our, of our little
of our hobby.
Yeah,
so I can get behind that, but I don't know. I've always been somebody that when I buy something, I like to spend the least amount possible for that particular item.
Sure. And, I mean, that's the responsible way to go about doing it, right?
And just, with the volume of stuff that I do buy, I feel like, okay, at least if I can justify it if I say I'm getting a really good deal on everything most of the time.
Yeah. Cool. So, I mean, I would love to ask you what you're going to be playing. But
I don't know. Yeah, I gotta figure something out because nothing's been clicking quite right.
Yeah.
If I finally get around to getting that PS4, it'll probably be Fallout 4.
I hope so.
Or Batman. I want to play Batman.
I mean, you can borrow Batman. You can't borrow Fallout.
No.
Right.
No.
All right.
Let's
call it a day.
It's both this best.
All right. For Gaming Without Parole, I'm Brian Paul.
I'm Mike Zeller.
I'm Joby.
And we'll see you next week with Fallout 4 news and Brett.
Maybe.